Hello, and welcome back to Of the People. I am Robert Chernin with
Ericka Redic.
And we are back. Thanks for staying with us for our third segment. So, Ericka, the theme today, really, when you tie it all together, is the woke wars against America, right? We talked about gun rights, gun ownership. It really should be an obligation, not just a right. We talked about the attack on the judiciary, which obviously is an attack on the Constitution indirectly, but I think that's with intent. Now let's talk about education, and sort of this woke war continues. Because here's the thing. So the NEA, National Education Association, the largest teachers union in the country. I don't get to talk about my girlfriend, Randy Weingarten, today. She's not in the news, unfortunately, the hopping hobbit. But so the NEA came out with this whole summer reading program, and they recommended this book, Gender Queer. Did you see that one? So, and by the way, I'm not using the word queer to reference anyone. It's the title of the books, folks. So basically,
that was in the recommended reading
recommended
list?
reading is Gender Queer. And by the way, if you know this book, the book is about an older man and a younger boy. It's about different types of sexual encounters between them. It's graphic.
Oh my God.
And
it literally graphic, as in there's pictures of sexual acts
in the book. So the NEA, when confronted with this, and by the way, these are your union dollars going to work. Here's what the NEA said. Love the quote. Actually, hate the quote, but I'm going to read it anyway. For us at the NEA, education justice, a new term. You got to put justice on everything. Education justice must be about racial justice. It must be about social justice. It must be about climate justice. It must be about all of those things, said the President Becky Pringle, right? And social justice is a pillar of the NEA's efforts. And I sit here and I juxtapose this, right? In New Hampshire, where I live, right? This House representative basically calls Moms for Liberties, a-holes, basically, and calls them terrorists and Taliban just because everyone else is allowed rights, but parents are not allowed any rights. And you have the NEA, let's be clear here. When we talk NEA, when you talk the AFT, American Federation of Teachers, you're talking about big education. These are political organizations who do not represent the children. Where's the outrage? It makes me crazy.
I am.
Are you speechless?
Oh my God.
I'm doing that to you a lot lately.
I just can't believe it. The audacity of people to think that it's okay to have a summer reading list that includes sexually explicit materials. And then Becky says that moms are terrorists. First of all, let's talk about the fact that her name is Becky. Okay.
No. So the woman in New Hampshire, let me get the name right, is Representative Catherine. It's Sophiticus. I'm sure my pronunciation is off. I should ask my Greek wife, but because it sounds like it's
what kind of sick person calls mothers terrorists?
Well, basically, apparently she does. And everyone has rights except for the parents. So she goes on to say, she compares them to the Taliban and momsies, which is an offshoot of Nazis, right? They're momsies. And hang on.
Oh my God.
You got to love the quote. I love the quote. Actually, I hate the quote again. It is, where are we? Momsies who seem to have an affinity for authoritarianism and extremist groups.
Oh
Momsies.
My God.
Right?
Who is this broad? New Hampshire, you better vote this broad out of office.
Right.
Oh my God.
And then there's let's fan the flames of fear, right? Then you have other legislators who are saying legislation which has been proposed in New Hampshire will cause serious irreparable harm to the LGBTQ youth, the harm that can end up being fatal for our children. So now now they're accusing Moms for Liberty, who's supporting this law, of being culpable or responsible for the death of children. I mean, that's how extreme this is. Look, this is really simple. When my children were growing up, my wife's, had the birds and bees conversation with our daughter, and I had the birds and bees conversation with our son. We looked at education very simply. We never said, here, you teach our kids. We said, it's our job to primarily teach our children in conjunction with the teachers as a team effort, but that we have to communicate as to what's the content of being taught. I don't doubt the training or expertise, so to speak, of teachers. But this is not a silo where they get to teach and I don't get to know what's going on with my kids. When did parents not have rights?
And this is the thing, these people don't want to be called groomers. They don't like that
Why they are
phrase, and that's the thing.
Of course
and the
they
fact that they conflate wanting to have sexually explicit conversation. There's this great meme out there right now where it's a guy flashing a woman, and it used to be this guy.
Is it a transgender guy or is it
No, it's just a man. He flashing a woman, and
Did you just say just a man? Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. It's just a guy.
As the representative of the male species, I'm offended. What do you mean just a man? We're not just a man.
Just a guy. He's flashing this woman, and it says, this guy is a pervert, and he goes away in handcuffs. Then it's a person, a trans person flashing a child, and the woman saying that it's a problem, and then she gets arrested. So these people are conflating.
I like that. That right? is an accurate portrayal. That's accurate.
Correct. And so if we as families say it's not okay for you to have sexually explicit conversations with children, you're now conflating that with being gay, as if gay people are perverts. And then you get mad that we call you groomers. Okay, first of all,
the LGBT
you're insulting gay people.
Hang on a second. Exactly. That's where I was going to. The LGBTQ whatever community has hijacked that's called the gay liberation movement. This is no longer almost has anything to do about being gay. That's a whole different discussion. What you're talking about is grooming children at a young age and not letting the parents know, as if the parents have no rights. Right.
That is absolutely outrageous. And then you wonder why people are worried about child sex trafficking and explicit, child pornography. And then you guys go out of your way to not only sexualize children, but make up words like momsies if I don't want you to wave your genitalia or show sexually explicit material to my child. And okay, groomer, take the title and live with it. You want to sexualize children. And you know what? Every parent in America, every person in America should be against that. And they need to stop conflating that with being gay.
Well, I get it.
Because it's not okay.
I get it. And look, on a positive note, there is actually a positive note, ladies and gentlemen.
We're going to spin this around.
Well, we're going to just lay the facts out. The facts are that the tide is turning. So in Ohio, they just passed a school choice bill where they're going to fund, they're going to basically give scholarships to families that are making X amount of income, I think. And it's a reasonably, high income level. I think it's $125,000, but give them scholarships to go to whatever school they choose. I mean, once you break the stranglehold, and we call them government schools, but they're public schools, but they're really government schools.
Government schools.
Once you break that stranglehold and make public education compete, no different than healthcare. Let them compete across state lines. Let them compete. You want to improve healthcare system? It won't be perfect, folks, but let them compete. Here's where I want to end this, though. I want you to look up the St. Andrews. Folks, the St. Andrews, Academy in Kentucky. I love this. There's a story in the news, and the title is that a new traditional Catholic school provides boys with authentically masculine education. How is that for radical? So in addition to the traditional curriculums, this school, and it's a boarding school, and there's only 12 kids, but they're starting it in Kentucky. They're going to learn farming, woodworking, leather crafting, blacksmithing, along with those traditional studies. And it's Northern Kentucky, but here's the thing that really got me, because I think that people are starting to fight back, and I think that that's a good thing. What they basically said is the following. St. Andrews Academy offers an educational experience filled with things to inspire, wonder, compelling academics, good music, friendship, thoughtful conversation, beautiful traditional liturgy, hard work, and generous helping of adventure, a way of life to captivate and nourish the mind, heart, and soul of a young man. I love that. That is, you want to talk about toxic masculinity and what we've lost. And, we were talking on break on this because obviously, folks, we do talk. The what I would call early feminization of elementary education. There's nothing wrong with female teachers. It's just boys are not allowed to be boys.
That's right.
We're trying to emasculate them at a young age, and then you wonder why they turn out effeminate, or they turn out however it is they turn out. But men are not women, and women are not men, and folks are not supposed to be. So when I read, did you know about this school, St. Andrews? I know you read all this stuff.
No, I didn't. I hadn't heard this story, but I have to say that I love it. I love it. This is more of what we need. When men,
it gave me a swell of feeling good for once about somebody's trying to make a difference the right way.
Yes, exactly. And that's what men are builders. Boys are builders. They will either build up or they will tear down. It is inherent in their nature, regardless of what Karl Marx or any of these other woke people say. You cannot remake man. Our nature is what it is. And you can either cultivate it and shape it and make sure that it is,
and glorify in it, whether you're a man or a woman. Each has its own special nature. Each
That's
gender.
right.
Of course, when the other 12 genders, I'm not so sure about, but the two I grew up with, I know about those, right?
And that is to take away the magic of what makes us men and women, takes away the magic of what makes us human beings. And so this is just so heartwarming. I want to see more of this. I love it.
So to the St. Andrews Academy in Northern Kentucky, we wish you luck. We're going to follow the progress. We want to read more about it. We think your mission is so very important in the country. Our hats off to you at Of the People.
Amen.
And folks, I am Robert Chernin, and if you want to reach me or see me, I am at RB Chernin on Twitter, or you can email me at robertc@ASIC, ACEKFUND, asicfund.org. Ericka, where can they get you?
They can find me on Twitter at Ericka Redic, ERICKAREDIC, or email me at generallyirritable@gmail.com.
And our podcast is on Podbeam and Google and Apple and Spotify and Amazon. Download us into your stream so you don't miss a single episode. Thank you so much for staying with us. Remember, folks, we're going to end this where we started. Second Amendment rights, it's not just your right to own a firearm, but it's your duty. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you next week.